Testing, testing. Okay, we're trying to work on the sounds, so please stay with us. Again, Samson to Labron Pablorito. So we'll be coming on here very shortly. Again, folks, Samson told I'm working on the sound system here right now. I'm not too sure if I'm audible enough, but I cannot hear myself on this testing center here this evening. Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, my guess is I'm on here now. I'm just trying to get my speaker stuff going here. Okay. Okay. Again, folks, Samson told Labron Public, I'm not too sure if I'm audible out there, but please let us know if I'm audible at all. For some reason here, my stuff is not going the way I thought it would be, but I have it all set up. And let's see here. I think some of my guests have just arrived, and we will be on here very shortly. Just bear with us. Okay. I'm not too sure why. Okay, I am audible. Okay. All right. Okay. Good evening, folks. Safety. Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again this evening for bringing us back here. Lord, we ask you to continue to protect us, Lord. Only your protection, blanket of protection that can help us out here. And so we ask you to continue to bless us. Give us wisdom to do what is right. Lord, we ask you again to bless our country, the Republic of Liberia, and bless the United States of America, the host country. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, folks, tonight's show, I'm going to be a little bit subdued in a sense, in that I will not be able to talk as much as I would like to, because tonight's show is about the GEDEH community. And we will have with us here very shortly the president of the GEDEH community and his team, as I put out there. So they will be joining us here very shortly. So the program tonight is basically to promote, pretty much, to promote the upcoming convention of the GEDEH community, Grand GEDEH County Associations to be specific. They're going to be having their convention over there, I believe it's in Kansas City. So we will have them to talk about it and explain to us what are some of the things. In the meantime, they give us a video that we're going to be playing here for you here as well. So please just stay with us. Samson told LeBron Public Radio. I'm not too sure why my music is not playing here tonight, but that's okay. That's okay. We don't need the music right now. So let me go on to, first of all, bring in the president of the Grand GEDEH Association. And then I believe this is the secretary as well. So for now, these are the two gentlemen that are with us. We're supposed to be having more, and hopefully they will be here. Mr. President, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Good evening.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, good evening. Can you hear me as well? But we cannot hear you, Secretary.
Yes, sir. I do hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you. And I believe the good doctor herself is here in the room, so let me bring her in here. Madam Doc, good evening. Good evening to you as well.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I think we have the president, the doctor, who I believe will be the guest speaker, but they will tell us more on that later on. And the Secretary General. Mr. President, let us don't waste any more time. I want to welcome you and your team, the few other people that are still not here. Hopefully, they will be joining us here very shortly. Mr. President, thank you for gracing the Liberian Public Radio platform once again. We appreciate it, and we say thank you very much. But as usual, when we bring you guys up here, I know you're well known all over the community. You have served so many organizations in the Liberian diaspora community that you are not a stranger to anyone. But I just want you to do us a favor here, just briefly. Do you care to introduce the team, or you want the team to introduce themselves? And if it's so, then please just quickly introduce yourself, and then we can go on to another team member, please.
Thank you, Mr. To. I always call you ST. I will introduce myself and let the others introduce themselves.
Thank you.
Like you said, my name is James YOUBOTY. I reside Philadelphia, PA. I am the current president of Grand GEDEH Association in the Americas. But before I became president, I wrote a book. I wrote two books actually about the Liberian Civil War. And a lot of people know that name from there. I am a graphic artist by profession. I operate a sign shop in Philadelphia. So basically, that's what I do. Since I've been in this country, I always work for myself. So I'm a self-employment president. I am president, Grand GEDEH Association, like I said. So tonight, I'm here in that capacity. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you. I think the secretary dropped out, so let us go to. We just been joined by Mr. Eric.
Yes.
Yes. Good evening, sir. Thank you for joining us as well.
Thank
and
you.
We'll be coming to you here very shortly. Madam, you care to introduce yourself if you don't mind?
Me? Is it my
Yes,
turn?
ma'am.
Great.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toll. Thank you so much, Mr. President. Mr. Wool, thank you for the opportunity to be here, especially to be on a platform that is ours. So I am grateful and I'm humbled. My name is Dr. Stefania Forte. I'm a daughter of Grand GEDEH, specifically Ba Zone District. And I am definitely going to be the guest speaker for the National Convention, Grand GEDEH Association National Convention. I'm just really, really excited to connect with everyone. I'm excited to share our message of unity, but I'm also excited to share specific information that we have to see how we can collectively uplift the county. So my professional experience, I'm a professor. I teach in adjunct role position at a local university in Pennsylvania. And I also own a real estate investment business with my brother for the past 15 years. But today I'm here in a capacity of the president of the board of Change Agent Network and also international consultant of Change Agent Network in the specific areas of expansion, curriculum, education, culture, and policy. So, what else can I say about myself? And as well, a global literacy advocate. So, that is something I take a lot of pride into my work. And just thank you again for this opportunity. And I really, really look forward to just sharing a lot of information with you all tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Ward,
Yeah.
good evening. Thank you for joining us. Could you briefly just introduce yourself and then we can get the show going?
Yeah. My name is Eric WOWOH. I am originated from Lofa, Fisherwood Town, Lofa County, but I'm the founder and executive director of Change Agent Network, which is a nonprofit organization, a 501c3 registered here in the United States. And our mission is to break the cycle of poverty through holistic education in Liberia by erecting schools and having in partnership with the local people to run those schools. So in the last 20 years, we built over 20 schools with one university in Liberia in Lofa County. And Dr. Forted is the board chair of that organization. And I met the president a couple of weeks ago. And when she was invited to be the guest speaker at the convention in Kansas City next month for the Grand GEDEH Association, I was also invited along because I think education is something that we all need in Liberia to transform the place. So I'm here today in the capacity as executive director and founder of Change Agent Network, and I'm basically interested in education in Grand GEDEH County. So we'll be coming alongside the Grand GEDEH people to see what can happen in that area. So thank you for the opportunity to be here again.
Thank you. Thank you. Once again, folks, this is Samson Toll at Brown Public Radio. My guest tonight is the president of Grand GEDEH Association, Mr. Gene YOUBOTY, and his team. Platform, I call them high platform guests. And they're here tonight to at least give us some insight of what is happening in the county and the upcoming convention. Mr. President, I think you and I have the conversation as usual. Usually I will come out here with my big mouth and I try to quiz and all that kinds of good stuff. But tonight it's going to be a little bit different because I really want you guys to sell this program as much as possible for those who are listening and perhaps those who are not quite aware of what convention is about and what have you, so that at least they will get a clear understanding. There are so many grandchildren all over here. Perhaps they might, after listening to you and your team tonight, maybe be enthused to move out, to support this organization. It's a noble organization. We all benefited from this organization. I want to thank you very much. But go ahead. What is this? Tell us more about the convention, the time, and all that kind of good stuff, Mr. President. Could you please take it away?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. To. Thank you very much for giving us the audience. The convention will be held in Kansas City, Missouri, May 13 to the 15th. We are appealing to everybody to come. As you know, for the past 2 years, we have not had any convention because of Corona. So this will be the first time since our inception We were elected 2019 Minneapolis. We had an occasion, inauguration in Kentucky in October. And a few months after that, the whole country was locked down. But we've been working all that time virtually. So this will be our first time that we'll be meeting physically. And as you know, we are going there to quote unquote celebrate because we told people that we were going to erect statue for President Doe. That was on our platform. We're going to build a basketball court for the university there, the Grand GGAA Community College. The basketball court is there, the backboard. The court itself has not been erected yet, but the statue is erected, is standing up, albeit the work is not yet complete. The people have to run back to Monrovia because they don't want to be stuck in Grand GGAA with a bad road condition. So we still have the library to be built. We are hoping and praying that everything will fall in place. So basically, we're going to Kansas City to offload our load, so to speak, and to find out what happened next. It so happened that I was looking for a guest speaker to grace my occasion, and I don't know who to call, and I don't know. It was just like a divine intervention. You won't believe it. I got up at 3, 4 o'clock a.m. and this Stefania 14 just popped in my head. I don't know for why. I never met her before. I know she is a Granadian like me. So long story short, I contacted her and she gracefully agreed. So here we are. So come to Kansas City and hear what the guest speaker will say. And I want to find out that she is in collaboration with Mr. Eric WOWOH here. I always see Mr. Eric WOWOH on YouTube showcasing what he has done in Liberia. He built a university in Lofa, a high school in Nima, high school in Bonn. And I never thought that he was connected to Stefania Forte. So, you know, God do things mysteriously. So we are here. Just 2 weeks ago, we met for the first time. It will be my first time meeting Madam Stefania Forte and Mr. Eric WOWOH in Wilmington, Delaware. And Stefania treated us to a lunch. And I met some other people on the table. So they all agreed that they will be coming to Kansas City to listen to our guest speaker. We don't know what she's going to tell us. And I know tonight is not the forum for her to tell us. But what I'll be interested in is for them, Eric WOWOH and Stefania to tell us what they have been doing for other people. So you know the old saying, Mr. Toe, if it walk like a dog, it looks like a dog, it's probably a dog.
Except
Who
that.
knows? So I'll turn the floor over. Thank you for allowing me to talk. Let me keep my mouth closed and give them the opportunity to say something.
Mr. President, you know me. I'm Blagu. My ain't feeling you more, you ain't feeling my mom. But this is not the time tonight. As I said, I really want you guys to explain to your brothers and sisters exactly what this thing is about. So it is all you can talk as much as you want. What I will do, though, I think just listening to Mr. WOWOH, I think his story has pricked my interest. That most likely he will, I hope, that he will accept our invitation to appear here where we can have a one-on-one conversation about what he's doing and what he's continuing to do and what are some of the benefits that our brothers and sisters are getting from him. And me being a Liberian, and what are some of the pleasures he's helping. But I don't want to go touch all that stuff tonight. It's not about that. We will go on with that later. But I hope we will have this young man back on here as well. Doc, so I know you're not supposed to say what you're going to say, but you being the daughter of Grand GGAA, Boston District specific, BIT Don specific, Blown Town specific. So let me just say this, that in the interest of fairness, the doc is also a cousin of mine. And that's what I know, all these areas that I'm going here. So I am quite aware of who she is. But Doc, please, you're coming to. I said I wasn't going to be asking you a question, but this one, I mean, that exactly. You coming to Grand GEDEH Association at a time where the pandemic is getting little bit downside, and we don't know exactly what the government is doing, but they say it's getting over with, but that's fine. But the point here is you're coming in at this time with many of your brothers and sisters. You being a PhD, very interesting, of course. PhD from long. I think the other PhD we got from long time will be Willie Power Branch and myself. No, I'm just kidding. We have nothing. But with you, with that kinds of educational background, what are some of the things that perhaps, without you going into detail of what you're going to say, what are some of the things that perhaps you think our brothers and sisters would take out of your conversation with them? Let me ask that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toll, for the question. And the question is tricky because I cannot say exactly everything that I would discuss at the convention, but it's very important question because the most important thing that I've always been interested in, my area of mastery, expertise, my passion has always been education. So now, just not loving education and having a passion, but making sure you have the technical skills to do the work. So education, number one, is the solution to the problem nationally. Now, when it comes to the county, the reason why you see me here coupled with Mr. Eric WOWOH, and the reason why you see a lot of people who are partners of ours in this specific nonprofit and education space are coming with us is because we have a huge message, not only of unity, a huge message, not only of the need to have tangible impact and programs and projects in the county, but it's a message of how now do we eradicate people from poverty through education and empowerment. So Mr. WOWOH and I, we've worked since what, 2013? 2012, 2013, right? We've worked together. I was one of the largest Liberian donors for Change Agent Network, was able to build schools, was able to participate in many critical and crucial points of the milestones and just progress of the organization. So what I want to do as an individual, but also as a Grand GEDEan, not only through my message, but through my actions, is to make sure that I can verbalize this message, but now create a space where we can make the tangible impact, that we can go to the county and say this building here, this other library, this institution impacted the lives of specific people. So we can have the tangible impact and the tangible manifestation of the work and all of our legacy. So my message is that, but also my work is around that. So that is what I want to share with everyone tonight, but also make sure when I connect with the people in accounting, make sure they don't only feel my presence verbally, but they see the work in tangible ways.
I'm going to break my rule here. I'm also a journalist, and so when you have a story, whatever the story is going, that's my intent here tonight. And I promised myself I was going to let you guys do all of the talking, but I can't just leave it like that. With all of the story that you just told us, your involvement as young as you are. And it seemed like, and I'll be coming to you, Mr. Oye, it seemed like both of you with your, with the combination of whatever you guys bring it on the table. I think one would say that many Liberians, specifically young Liberians, are benefiting immensely with your contribution, both of you. So the question now is this. You're from Boston District. Do we see you coming in here to be the representative of Boston District very shortly, or sometime next, or whatever, that you will be involved? Because Mr. GEDEH over there, he's been involved with the Liberian and the Grand GEDEH politics for a very long time. And so to bring you, like you said, God works in a mysterious way, perhaps he will impact onto you some of his experience, political experience, but on a very serious note. Do you see yourself coming around in that sense to say I want to be involved politically in Liberia, in Grand GDEH, Boston District?
Well, I can start by answering a question with this. We live in a very heightened political society, which is the Liberian society, right? You cannot divorce yourself from politics as a Liberian. You may not be an active player, you may be an observant, but in some way or another, we look at this micro level of governance as a way that we use to explain how we can resolve problems or issues in the country or in the different counties. So I can tell you specifically what I see my future as. My work is to impact. My work is for me to leave tangible, specific evidence and to impact lives of people. And I'll tell you how I would do that and how I've been doing that. Like Eric said, with Change Agent Network, we've built 20 schools, over 20 schools in the country, throughout the country, in most difficult areas, in rural areas, hard to reach areas. And we also manage 5 of those schools. So the main thing for me right now is to make sure I can leave my name, my legacy, and I can see how many lives I impact. Now, if I'm doing my work and I have gained the credibility and the visibility, but primarily the credibility, and I've impacted the lives of people in a way that I can have their testimonies to say that Dr. Forte came into this space and this is what she did to drastically change my life. If I have done that and there's a segue into the political space and God uses me as a vessel to go in that space and transform lives as well, I will welcome it. But for now, I don't see that in my future.
Okay, before I go to Eric here, let me just do something here that I normally don't do. But again, I'm like, ooh, nothing moved me. Ma beyond clear, we want poor na euro or rural house of Blomley. We want poor and go poor of Blomley or na euro. Or a rural agent of poor Kuru, your poor, and then where did it? Then the year never. But although I just want to say that. And basically what I said was that I call your grandfather and say, you're the granddaughter of Mr. Paul. So those of us that from that area know who Honorable Paul is. So I just want to say that. Eric, thank you for joining and thank you for your patience, by the way. So I don't know why I'm going through now, I'm bringing icing question now, but this is going to be the last question, and I'm not too sure what's happening with the president. This is going to be the last question, and then after that, then I'll let you guys just handle it. So your involvement with a good doctor here, you also doing things to impact the lives of many Liberians. Now you're coming now, being introduced to Grand GDEH Association, and I was wondering, what are your expectations, by the way?
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity again tonight. Like I said, once it's about Liberia, I'm on board. It doesn't matter which part of the country, because Liberia is one nation. And the problem in Grand GDEH is the same problem that we have in Lofa. It's the same problem we have in Sino. It's the same problem that's in Monrovia. So I'll talk a little bit about my story, what got me involved with all of this. I was very little when the Civil War in Liberia started, 1989. I left Liberia at a very young age, spent 14 years living in refugee camps in West Africa, Ghana, Ivory Coast, and then I came to Nigeria, where a friend of mine gave me one computer. I learned how to use a computer in the refugee camp, and I saw the need to start training other refugees how to use that computer back in 2002. So from the origins of that one computer, by 2006, we were able to train about 700 Liberians and other nationals in the Oru refugee camp in Nigeria. And we had some people from Grand GDEH. I had some people from Grand GDEH who were volunteer teachers in that school. Orita Gay, other people were there. So the US government brought me here on the refugee resettlement program. And when I got here, I was just blown away. And the first question I asked myself was, what can I do to be a part of the solution of all the problems that Liberia is faced with? I survived the war. I'm out of there. I'm here now. What am I supposed to do? I'm no longer a refugee. We are no longer going through war, but there's something we need to do. So I decided to start a nonprofit. So I started a nonprofit called Change Agent Network in 2007, and we applied to the US government. We got our tax exempt status, and I decided to return home And I believe, like Dr. Forte, that the tool that we need to break that cycle of poverty in Liberia is not handout, it's education, it's empowerment, it's community development, collective impact. We all working together to move the country forward. I don't believe one individual or one institution will be able to move that country forward. We need collective effort. So I started reaching out to both Americans and Liberians and other nationals. And we've been going home every single year. Sometimes we're in Liberia 2-3 times a year. So the goal is to break that cycle of poverty through education all across the country. The government will not solve the problems in Liberia, the government alone. The Liberian people themselves will have to get involved to create the country that they want to be able to call home. The Grand GEDEH people themselves will have to create a kind of county that they want to be able to call home. The outside world, people like us from other counties and other places can only help when the Grand GEDEH people themselves lead the way. If they don't lead the way, nobody's going to follow. So I started going back home. We take professionals from here, most time Caucasians, doctors, teachers, entrepreneurs, business people, to build schools. So we raise money every year to build brand new school in each of the county. Our goal is to build what we call the education village in each of the 15 counties of the country by 2030. So far, I'm pleased to announce to you that we are currently in 5 out of the 15 counties of the country. And Grand GEDEH has been on our radar for a long time, but I just didn't know how. And even when I met Dr. Forte, she have helped us to build schools in Lofa County, in my own village. That's where we have the university built in Feasible Town in Zaza District, Lofa County. And we built school in Nima, a school in Bone, in Magibi. So I was thinking, when are we going to go to Grand GEDEH? Okay. And then about 2 weeks ago, I got a call from her. She said, guess what? I said, what happened? And she's the board chair. She's been investing into education in the lives of other people. She's also a board member of the university that we built in Lofa. Her credentials are there and everything is there. She does a lot of work quietly. All right. So I told her, I said, well, this is a great opportunity. So I think you've been bringing this education to so many other people in other parts of Liberia, in Ghana, other places that you've been. I think going to your home, it would be a great privilege and honor for me to come alongside you. You came alongside me. You stood with me to do this in my county, other places. Now we're going to take it to your people. And that was a great thing. So what I'm going to be talking about, or what we're going to be bringing to the table, would be asking the Grand GEDEH at that convention what our vision is for the whole country, but for Grand GEDEH specifically in the area of education. And I'll give you an example. Education for me is the only gift that you give to a person that when they die, they take it with them into the grave. It's not a house, it's not a car, it's not money that you can transfer to your children or transfer to somebody else. It's the only gift that a person takes with them forever. So if we truly want to give gifts to people, especially like Grand GEDEH, we want to do that through education. So that's where we are. And this year, I think the latest school we built last year was in Nimba County in Ganta City. And this year we started another project in Kakata, Magibi County. So the Grand GEDEH think, like I said, we don't want to get a cat out of the bag, but at the convention, we will lay out the plan and the vision that we have for Grand GEDEH going forward. With your support and your collaboration and your, team spirit, we can make it happen.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Mr. President, I think, can you, Mr. President, can you, this is the phone, can you put it aside wave? And I'm sure you have a rotator phone. And then once you do that, it will automatically, okay, well, maybe not. Okay, all right. But Mr. President, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. It's good like that.
Okay.
There we go. All right. I think, well, I don't want to push the envelope here, but I think
You
So
should. I can see your
You are free.
you
Well,
should. Feel free. We can play, of course.
Mr. Toll, you are free. Push your envelope. We want to know what's in the envelope.
yeah. No, what I was going to say is that we have had some wonderful leaders through the over the years about this county. Mr. GOT is also a wonderful leader. In fact, let me just say a little bit about him. He used to be president of Quinabo District, and when his term over, he turned over. And then the next guy, everybody thought was going to be another James GOT, came in with a corrupt behavior. And the people fired him and have to beg Mr. GOT to come back to resurrect the association. That's Quinabo District. So he has done some wonderful job. And I know that, but the point that I want to make is, Mr. GOT, to have these two young people along with you at the convention, do you think that perhaps I don't want to be ridiculous, but that's what I do. I'm always ridiculous. That perhaps you have hit a jackpot, to be honest with you, in terms of no, seriously, in terms of education. Because if these we have Mr. Nyano, we have Timmons Collins, all of these people, we have Martha Connor. All of these people have always pushed the educational line of our people, of specifically young people. Mr. Timmons Collins, I'm not here to talk about other people, but I just want to bring this up. Mr. Timmons Collins was also instrumental in the Grand GEDEH Community College grant money collection and everything else. In fact, I think he's still a representative on for the county community college. So all of these past presidents have always wanted to be involved, but here you are. Not only you always want to be involved, but you have these two young people who are also instrumental in helping other counties have these type of benefit. And now to have them taking them with you to the convention, is this not a jackpot, sir?
Indeed, it is. It is. Like I said earlier, they say, tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are. And I also stated, if it looks like a dog, it talk like one, it walk like one, then it's suddenly a dog, which is a logic that I'm trying to get across here. Mr. WOWOH said, and Dr. Fote said, we're not going to let the cat out of the bag. Mr. Bloku, your skin thick, but you will not get it out of us. Let there be something for imagination. Let John Brown come to Kansas City to satisfy his curiosity. We're not going to come here right now and tell you everything that might happen. Come to Kansas City, pay your convention fee, come have fun, come and dance. We killed a whole cow, come and be part of the festivities. Don't just stay back. Get out of the house. You've been hiding in the basement for 2 years. It's time for you to get out and mingle with your fellow man. So you're going to have it both ways. You're going to be having fun, and you'll be getting a very good food for thought from our own daughter, Tato Forte. Oh, you know, she has a bison name. So, Stefania, what's your name again? Now you there?
Jinawe.
You hear that? Oh, you know what?
You know what? I got my own now.
Yeah. So we got our own. We got our own daughter.
Yeah.
Show up. I've seen my own now. Yeah.
I'm enjoying myself. But anyhow, thank you, Mr. President. I think we're having fun already, but I just gonna speculate. And if I'm wrong, so be. I've always, most of the time, I'm wrong on this platform. Anyway, I've always eaten crow anyway, so who cares? But what I want to speculate, I think taking these young people, without you telling us what is in the bag here tonight, I think Grandians most likely will benefit from this year convention.
Yeah.
And Mr. President, you know me. You and I, we don't see eye to eye on many policy issues. But I think, I'm also, you know me. if you're doing something that is good, I would say you and I don't agree on many things, I would say. And I think this is one thing that perhaps you bringing in young people, because he's too human being. They're not older people like me or like you. Well, and I don't know about you, but like me, but they're young, and so they also have counterpart of people like Dennis Boer, the current president of Quinamo District. He's just young but smart, intelligent, highly educated, and you have many of these Grangidians, young Grangidians, highly educated, smart young Grangidians. We know them, especially women, young Grangidians, women, nurses, medical doctors. They're around. But if they see that you now bringing in people of their caliber, also now hanging with you, oh, I can see the jealousy coming together. That you want to take care of all those people with book people. I say I know book too. I'm coming with them. So that's what I think. This is what I call it a jackpot, because with they being involved, I would suspect that perhaps more of our brothers and sisters will come and listen. So I hope that we will do that. But let me ask you this before I take the first break here this evening, Mr. President. Let me ask you this. So what will be your line? Because I know you're going to have to give some sort of a speech or whatever. What will be your line that you think that should make me want to spend my $1,600 to go to Kansas City?
Well, in a nutshell, my line will be: you send me to do a piece of job. We said we're going to build a basketball court. The basketball backboards are in Grand GEDEH. We're going to build a statue for President Samuel Kanye Doe. The statue is up. It's not quite complete yet, but it's up. We said that we're going to put a constitution reform committee together, and Mr. Kaibule will be there to put it on the floor so that hopefully we will vote on it. So we're going to change or amend the constitution, so to speak. If you don't show up and the people that are there take the decision, don't blame us. And we will also be putting an election commission together so that there will be an election in 2023. So you guys will choose the next venue of where the election will be held in 2023. We are going to have a raffle draw. The first prize of that raffle draw will be a round-trip ticket to Liberia. A second prize will be a 75-inch TV. Third prize will be a round-trip ticket to anywhere in the U.S. All of that just for $100 for the ticket. So if you don't show up, you're going to be missing out. So if I were you, I will buy my ticket, go to Priceline.com, go to Hawaii, go to Expedia, and other places. Or if you got somebody working with the airline, tell them to help you with buddy pass. Or drive, just rent a car and drive to Kansas City like I'm doing. You know, the statue of President Doe is up. Come, let's celebrate. We are not coming there to say that, oh, Doe statue is all Samuel Doe was Jesus Christ. We want to celebrate. No. But he was our son. He was president of Liberia. He made his mark. So we have to remember him. Those are some of the things that we are going to do. So we hope and pray to see everybody there. I think Mr. Samson told, was not too sure whether he was going, but when he heard me say hi to private thought, he said, I'm booking my ticket right now. So thank you very much, Blocko. Thank you. When you come, please bring your LPR equipment so you carry the program live on your show. We'll talk about that later. We'll work out the details. Can you imagine your own cousin will be the guest speaker and the people worldwide will not see her talking because LPR are not there to broadcast it? It will not be fair to her, right?
Right,
So
but once I'm there, I'll be interpreting so that the people in Bloomtown will know exactly what she's saying.
Wonderful.
Amen.
I look forward to it.
Thank you. Okay. All right, folks. Again, Samson told Labron Public Radio. We just been joined by the secretary. Mr. Secretary, welcome by. So we'll come back to you here at the end of the commercial that we're going to be playing here. And so it's just about maybe less than a minute commercial, and we'll come right back. But you guys send me some video I'm going to be playing here as well. So again, let's just listen to this video, and then Mr. Jiwoti talk about having a statue. Let's listen to this one.
So as you can see here, we are kind of wrapping up the work for suspending the work until maybe the rain ceases down. So, but this evening we will be leaving for Morocco, and the first guys has left already. This is how this monument will be left until we come back. So as you can see here, all these we have to come back and fill all these gaps. That's how the structure is gonna look like. So that's the name tag that is placed in there. As you can see how beautiful it looks like. It's Amos Menye, they're one of the hard-working guys. And so we still have a lot of work to be done here before the dedicatory ceremony. So the walkway here, everything has to be tied. All here, we need to have ties here.
And that's the statue itself that Mr. Jiwote and his people will be erecting. I mean, they're already up there, but this is the kind of work that he has done as president of Grand GEDEH Association, who agree. The Grand GEDEHs have given him a mandate because during the election, this was some of the question that was asked. His platform basically was to raise money for statue for the late president, the son of Grand GEDEH, and Grand GEDEHs overwhelmingly elected him, giving him the mandate to do this. So this is what he has done, and eventually it's going to be up. But I believe that the president most likely during the convention will tell Grand GEDEHs what he has done, and people will listen. And then that will be left with Grand GEDEHs to once again tell him thank you. And if he's seeking re-election, if they like it, they put him back there. If they don't, they boot him out. One man, one vote. This is Grand GEDEH County. We started this one man, one vote. And so this is what we do. So anyhow, let me go back to my guys. Thank you. Let me go back. Okay. Let me go back here. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So not cooperating much here tonight. So okay. All right. So here we are. Mr. Secretary, like I said, thank you for joining us. Briefly, I think I'm not too sure if we have the opportunity for you to introduce yourself. I think when we were doing that, we were just getting ready, and then there was some. I'm not too sure what happened. But do you care to briefly just introduce yourself, and then we can move on to other subject matters?
Yeah, thank you.
But before you do that, if you care to turn your camera sideways on the side of it, perhaps that will help. To here we go. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mr. To, for having me. And I want to thank our guest speaker
for coming, Dr. Uh, Dr. Fortier and Mr. Wow. I listened to each of you, and I also want to thank you for what you've been doing back home. Your passion for education is something that is very, very deserving, commending. So I want to thank you for what you do and for agreeing to come to our convention. We are very, very flattered to have you come with your team and share what you've been doing with our people. Again, I am the secretary for the Grand GEDEH Association. I live in Seattle, Washington.
What?
I live in Seattle, Washington. Yeah,
All the way up there.
all the way in the end. Yes, and so I'll be coming, and yeah, our goal is to inform our people of what we did, and we are glad that the coronavirus, have subsided, and we are able to have this convention, because 2 years ago when we were elected, we should have had this convention, and because of the situation, we can't do nothing. So we are so happy that we'll be able to go to the convention and inform our people of what we have done over the years, even though coronavirus was in the area, but we were still working behind the scene. And as they can see, some of our work on Facebook being displayed. In Kansas City, we'll be able to fully reveal what we've been doing throughout our tenure, even though the coronavirus was moving and stopping almost the entire world, but we were still working, so we are grateful. So yeah, so tonight, like the president said, most of the things will be revealed there, and I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you. So let me go back to the Bloomtown doctor. I've always I'm going to give you a Neo.
No problem.
I can't waste time with that one though. Let me go down. Let me go back to the Bloomtown PhD. Doc, on a very serious note, you stated earlier that you're somebody who like to empower other people to do what is good. And you being an educated person, I'm sure you don't come to these things with eyes closed. Most likely, you have done some research with this whole Grand GEDEH Association, what have you. And most likely, I would hope that you have also looked into their relationship with respect to the sisters of the GEDEH community. If you have done that, what do you think, or what have you find out, if at all? And if only if you care to divulge that to us. If not, we can move on and go with another question.
Sure. Just to make sure I understand your question, you're saying if I have done or if I did the research regarding the Grand GEDEH Association with their
with respect to our sisters and the relationship with the men of the GEDEH community, specifically Grand GEDEH Association.
Okay, so what I can respond, Mr. To, is the fact that my research was specifically around what has the Grand GEDEH Association done to specifically impact the county, right? So I was there counting tangible work that I can go and verify to say this association that has been around since the early 70s, what has been the tangible impact? What infrastructure do we have? What systems do we have? What sustainable programs do we have in a county that we can go? If I visit a county, I can say, okay, this is work of the Grand GEDEH Association. So my focus was specifically on that versus on the gender roles and those specific areas. But one thing I can tell you, which is a national issue, and I've discovered also an issue of the county, is needing more women in leadership positions and needing more women to have access to resources in a county, but make sure that they don't only have a seat at the table, but have a voice. So that inclusive stance, I believe already the Grand GEDEH Association has a lot of women in their leadership. They have done that a lot compared to other groups. So I'm proud to say so far that I've seen a lot of Grand GDE women doing a lot of great work. They have been part of the Grand GDE Association. They have been part of different parts of the government, private sector, nonprofit world. But to be honest, I wanted to focus on what did this organization really do in the county? What is the work? Because we can be here doing conventions every year, we can collect money, and there's so many of us. I think we might be expecting between 600 to 800 people. If we do that for over 20, 30 years, what do we show for this work? So as a young person coming into this space, I was really focused on doing that research. And now that I'm in this space, what do I want to do? What legacy do I want to leave? Or do I also want to enter this space and say, okay, yeah, we're supposed to be united and give inspirational and transformational message only and not leave a tangible legacy? That was the question I give to myself and to my team. But my research will really focus on specific impact versus really getting deep into the male versus female, the women versus men in leadership, because I was quite happy to see a lot of the women responding and participating.
Thank you. I just want to say before I move on to Mr. Wood, I just want to say Grand GDE County Association, being one of the few Liberian diaspora organization that was able to elect as its leader, female, who's also having to be another cousin of mine. But she was in leadership for some time, and Grand GDEans have had, I would say, good relationship with their sisters. So I just want to put that in. Mr. Woody, let me go back to you here, sir. And your position for me is very interesting. In as much as it's like we're trying to do two things here. We know that you're connected with our daughter in terms of business and whatever collaboration you guys do, but at the same time, you're just like an investor, and we're doing our best this evening to sell the good of Grand GDE to you and your organization, and then perhaps to be able to continue to do what you do best, which is to impact the lives of young people all over. And so let me ask you this: if you were to say after the convention and you find the Grand GDEans to be welcoming, and not only welcoming but very friendly, what then will be your decision? Will you then decide, okay, whatever we have to do, Grand GDEH will be at the top of the list? Is that how it works?
Exactly, that's how it works. Like we said, we've done in other counties in Liberia. I will give you names of schools that we have built so far. Heart of Grace School is in Lower Johnsonville in Muscarata County. It was built in 2008, between 2008 and 2010. Then the school in Banga, AAA, that's the #1 leading high school, most modern high school in Bond County in the whole of Banga. That was built in 2012. And then Lofa School was built in 2010. The university just got accredited about 2 months ago by the National Commission on Higher Education. Then Nimba School was built in 2020, between 2020 to present. So Grand GDEH has been on our radar, like I said, from the beginning for a very long time. But what we don't do is that we don't go to a place where we are not invited. All right. We don't impose on people. We let them do the accent. So with Dr. Forte being the guest speaker and she coming from that part of the country, I think that we don't have no choice right now but to jump into Grand GDEH. So what I expect from the convention would be, we hope and pray that the Grand GDEH people, after they receive the message that we have to deliver to them, the message of education and empowerment. If you want to destroy a person, take away the person's ability to think for him or for herself. That's the easy way to destroy them. So we believe that education is the only form of empowerment that liberates everybody. Okay, you can have political freedom, you can have any kind of freedom you want, but if people cannot decide for themselves, have a mind of their own, be able to determine their own income and what role they're going to play in society, then we are doomed. So, and every like the problem we have in Liberia, if you look at it very well, everything comes down to one thing and one thing only: the lack of education. Okay. So what I do specifically, Dr. Fontaine and I have specific roles that we play. My role specifically is to build infrastructures in Liberia for education to exist and flourish. So I'm the hardware builder of education. Dr. Fateh and her group are the software providers. So once the hardwares have been put on ground, has been erected, then she comes alongside, introduce all the necessary programs that we need to put the building to work, to make it functional. So what I'll be expecting from the convention would be to share how we have done this in other counties other than Grand Chile, and what model we use, what was the involvement of the local people in each of the counties we work in. It's a collaborative work. It's a work of solidarity. We cannot change a person's life except the person allow you into their space. So I'm hoping that although I'm from Lofa, but I have love for Grand Judah because the person, the late Samuel Doe, impacted the lives of everybody in that country, whether you like it or not. And when they walk into Liberia, it affected every single Liberian. It doesn't matter which district, which county you came from, what was your status, we all were affected by it. So the way we're going to solve the problem of Liberia would be this collective impact. All of us Liberians across the country coming together and fighting for those things that we all want. We all want education for our people. We all want good health care for our people. We all want jobs, opportunity for our people. We all want economic empowerment for our people. We all want peace. So that is something at least we can all agree upon. It doesn't matter which district in Grange that you're from or which part of Liberia you're from. So that would be my hope. And once the message is received and the Grand people are able to provide the land that we need, and we can take a trip over there, take a look at the place, do a groundbreaking, and ask them to join us so that we get the work done. So that next year, around this time, Mr. Toe, when we are back on your show, we'll be showing pictures of this is what we've done together as a team. Not Mr. WOWOH come to do it, not Dr. Forte come to do it, not the president come to do it, not you come to do it, but something that we all did together that gives us a sense of pride, a sense of belonging, a sense of ownership, and we can leave behind a trail that the younger generation can follow. So that's what I expect.
Yeah, don't go away. I got one more question coming your way, but before I do that, let me just disabuse most of my alien here in terms of role, because my own sister here, no role in Grand Judah, she said. I was able to speak with Mr. So, who is a executive director of Liberia Public Radio. He's presently in Toll Town tonight. But he told me earlier that from Sesto River going to Toll Town, which used to be one of the bad and ridiculous area in terms of road, bad road in Liberia, that area was always bad. But he said they have fixed it. So I also want to say here publicly to the superintendent, Mr. Kai Fali, that perhaps if this is true, well, but I have no reason to doubt Mr. So, then I want to congratulate the superintendent and his people for providing that opportunity for our people to be able to travel without any kinds of issue, because he said he was very happy the way the road, especially in our area, it's always been a bad spot. From the Sesto River to Total, it's always been a bad spot, but he said hey, this time. So it's most likely he will reach to Twadru, and then once that happens, we will again bring that message to you. Let me go back to you, and that is you stated earlier that something I'm not too sure was just passing, or that's some of the stuff that perhaps the program is intended to introduce. And if it is, you care not to talk about it, we can just go on to another subject truthfully. And that is, you said something about Grandidas giving land. Is that some of the thing that perhaps you're bringing this vast knowledge of erecting vertical infrastructure in terms of school, And then, as you correctly stated, doctor, the doc will come in with the software, in other words, to say what program the school that you build the student for and what have you. So with you two together, this is a good program, so as I see it. But the question now is that is that the only contribution that perhaps you will be seeking from Nigerians?
Uh, this is going to be an enduring partnership. This is never going to come to an end. What we intend to do in Grand GDEH is going to outlive every single one of us here. So we look at it as a gift to the next generation. We're going to build it. It's going to, like, I give you an example. The William V.S. Tubman High School in Monrovia, that school was built before we were even born. But today, that William V.S. Tubman High School still remains. In fact, it's the best high school right now in Liberia. But William V.S. Tubman is gone. It's been a long time since he died, and it's still there.
1971 to be specific.
1971. So you can imagine, but that school and the William V.S. Tubman nursing school in Monrovia is doing well than ever before. The university in Maryland also doing well. So for me, the great, like Samuel Candle Sport Complex, things tangible that people build are the things that they pass on to the next generation. So my hope is that this will not be a one-time done deal. It's not going to be a one-time done deal. We're into it for the long haul. Nobody goes into a county and builds things like that and just turn their back. No. So the day I visit Grand GDEH County, God willing, very soon, maybe we'll be there for the dedication of the statue and talk about all this wonderful work. I've become part of the Grand GDEH community. So I'm into it for the long haul. It's not, oh, well, last year was a project. We don't do projects, we do programs, because projects always have a starting date and an end date. Okay. But with a program, there's no starting date and there's no end date, and there's no specific budget that you can put to a program because it's an ongoing thing. So we are looking forward to a long-term partnership with the people of Grand GDEH.
One last question before I move on to the president on this subject matter we're still on. And that is finance. Maybe you're rich. I'm very poor. I don't got money. Fasting, I don't got. So, but on a very serious note, how do you, because these things, these materials and what have you, they are not just something that you can go cut banana tree and banana leaf and put it up there and say that is zinc. How do you generate fund? You know what? Let me don't do that. Forget it.
We'll do that at the convention.
Yes,
at the convention. But I want to give you our website, and if you can put it up, and take a look at some of the structures there, you have an idea. It's CAN. Let me type it in here. Or Stefania, can you do that?
Yeah, let me just type it in really quick.
Yeah, but the website is there. I just want you to take a look at the homepage and see some of the structures that have been built there. But we don't want to put a cat out of the bag that we say here. Okay, we know this is durable. It's something we've done before, not in one place, not in two places. We've done it in several places in the country, and we know we can do it again. All right. So that's what I was saying about that.
I'll take that. I'll take your word for it. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to eventually, by the end of the show, I would like to invite the two of you, where we will not talk about a convention, but we will be talking about your own involvement in a general sense with the Liberians and your specific project and how who are like the Liberians that are benefiting from them. We'll go deep into it. Mr. President, let me come to you. I asked a good doctor earlier as to whether she has done some sort of a research in terms of Grand GDEH Association, the men and the women, their relationship. You're not Johnny come lately to this organization. Have you had the opportunity to enlightening? And that's a good, wow, Samson told you that's more. We got PhD here, you're speaking in BB word there, enlightening. Yeah, my goodness, I feel like I know both tonight. They were here, the last one thing. Yeah. No, on a very serious note, Mr. President, have you had the opportunity to actually brief the young lady of maybe perhaps give us some little historical background in terms of Grand GGAA Association, what the women have tried to do in the past, which you yourself have been involved with in terms of contribution and what have you? Is that kinds of conversations happening, or this is not the time yet?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Like I told you, the selection of Madame Fortier is like an epiphany. Since starting with building English, let's go there. Selecting Stefania Fortier is an epiphany. In Liberian layman term, it's like a light bulb went off in my head because I don't know Stefania. I never saw in my life before. The first time I saw her was when I saw in Wilmington. She and the Eric WOWOH. So when I told her earlier, she said, "Oh wow, what a coincidence!" Because 2 weeks earlier, we were talking about moving our program to Grand GEDEH, and then there you go, calling me. So maybe God wants it to be that way. So I said, okay, Stefania, we have a website. He said, oh, when you told me, I put Grand Association into the search engine, and then GGAA.US came up, and I shared it with my partners. They all visited your website and saw it. So they started reading to get ideas and what have you. So they are impressed with our website. They know what we are doing and quote unquote things that we might be in need of. So basically, like what we talk about, or I put her in touch with my project manager, who happened to be Mrs. Elizabeth PENNOH, and Elizabeth was very happy. She talked with Stefania here. So we got a whole lot of things in the pipeline. So we can't say all in the public.
Okay.
First thing first, let her
Well,
deliver her speech.
well, I'm
Let's
not.
see which way the weather is going. Then we'll know whether we need umbrella or whether we don't need umbrella. Right now we just there.
Yeah, Doc, I'll be coming to you immediately. But like I stated earlier, Mr. Javote, you've been around for a while now, and you have always been an honest person, as far as I know. And so I don't believe that you will invite or attract young people into an organization that you might not be able to have the opportunity to explain to them what this organization is all about. But anyway, let me go on to Doc. I think you most likely you will have that opportunity to have that conversation. But let me go on to the Doc. Doc, you wanted to say something before I go back to the secretary?
Yeah, sure. I really wanted to comment in harmony with what Eric said and Mr. President here. Specifically, what do we do? And hopefully we can have another opportunity to really dig deeper into our work, because Eric is what I call an expert in his field, right? And for example, you're an engineer, you're an expert in your specific field like I am. So what we do is we just do not build schools. We built what we called education and empowerment villages. So we just do not have the academic component, but we have vocational education programs. We have counseling and mental health services. We have extracurricular activities through sports. We also have opportunities for the community to take advantage of our resources through the vocational education program, through many other programs that we have. And we also have businesses, and we have a little bit of agriculture that we're experimenting with. So we create these spaces where it's not just a place where a child goes to learn, but we develop the person. We have the holistic approach to education, but also that grassroots community movement. So everyone is a part of this process. And what I want to share with you also is we have a model that works. We've been using this model over and over and over from one a difficult county to another difficult county. The university that was built recently, exactly where Eric is from Zozo District, Feasible. So get there, say, not easy. So we are actually experts in building these infrastructures in challenging spaces and using the resources, the manpower, everything we have in that specific area. So the reason why I'm so excited about this is I even would tell you this, I found a title for this without sharing too much with you, right? So this is the project that we're going to introduce, or the work we're going to introduce there is actually going to be called the Grand GEDEH Association Collective Impact for Sustainable Development. So the key words there is the collective. All of us have to now unite and commit to this work. And sustainable development, this is a work that is going to transcend all of us, our respective political affiliations, our respective spaces of interest, because this is the work that will last. It will go beyond us, and we'll see the results of the work that we've done through the partnership with the association. So I just wanted to add that. And I'm really looking forward to that time that we can spend with you and just kind of peel off the layers of our work, because it's really, really exciting.
Okay, well, thank you, Doc. And I think by the time the show is over, I will have a few other people to contact you. One will be the president of Boston District Association, the good friend of the president, Mr. YOUBOTY, Mr. JJ Dennis. Hopefully, he will contact you, because I think not only you from Boston District, but I think perhaps your ideas and your energy, I think those and stuff, warrior energy, those I think that perhaps can be utilized. That's not just one county, all over Liberia. I think what you two people bringing to my attention tonight is something that is lacking all over the country. And I think with you guys' commitment and your clear mind and the fortitude to do that, knowing how challenging Liberia is. But not once have I heard here tonight. And I'm sorry, folks. Samson told Liberia Public Radio I was supposed to be here tonight, shut my mouth and just talk. But when you have two young people so much committed in improving the lives of our brothers and sisters, for whom some of us have, struggled so much about, as a progressive, and I don't mind throwing that in there. But on a very serious note, to have both of you, not once, we've been here now going to an hour and a half, and not once have I heard any of you complaining. We could have done this, we could have done that, but nothing. Everything you continue to say. We visit Liberia 2 times a year, maybe 3 times a year, and yet still, I was in Liberia just a little bit a month or so ago. And the very first day when I got there on Wednesday, on Thursday, I got up to get out in the street, and I called my wife. I said, "Why didn't you stop me? I don't want to here. I wanted to come back."
Can I catch the next flight?
Yeah, the guy who invited me said, "Mr. Toll," and the young people that that I was over there working with, they said, "Just give me 1 or 2 more days, you will come down." I was so angry with myself on that Thursday. I wanted to come back, but to hear you too. At this age and your time to continue to do this, I'm going to have to invite you guys here. Hopefully, very soon, within the next 2-3 days, we're going to have this conversation. I want to truly engage. Let me go on to the secretary, Mr. Secretary. I'm sorry, this is your show, and but when you have I think they're voting here tonight. I believe you and the president. Bringing such a smart people on the show that is just hard for me to ignore. So please forgive me. Let me ask you this, Mr. Secretary. You being the secretary of the association, what are some of your expectations for this upcoming convention, sir? No, Mr. Secretary. I say I say grand point my when then one point my when. Yeah, I can't hear you. I still can't hear you. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Let me see.
Like he on mute?
I'm not too sure where. No, his mic is open. So check your mic. Check your mic. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, but we can't hear you. Can anybody hear you? No. No, not yet.
So maybe he needs to re-log in.
I want to log off and come back in, please, if you don't mind. Yeah. Okay, so let me go straight to the president. Mr. President, we're going to be opening up the line here very shortly. I'm not too sure if you will want to call in tonight, because usually if this was grand leader politics, you did this, I did this, and you did, we will have people already ringing my phone. They want to call in, but I mean we're here to promote and not degrade here tonight. So I think that you I'm not too sure. I wish the former president, Madam Kana, Mr. Timmons Collins, Honorable Yano, I wish they will listen to this program, listen to these two young people. Yeah, okay, he's back. Mr. Secretary, can you hear me now? No,
Still
not yet. No, your mic. Check your microphone on the stuff, or you can just talk directly into the phone. Unplug yeah. And you can you hear me? Yeah, I know. You can hear me, but we can't hear you. So, okay, just stay back and enjoy the show. And, hopefully when we're meeting in Kansas City, you will tell me what you were saying that night, and perhaps I will be able to relay that information. But let me go on to the president. Mr. President, let me come back to you here then. I know you've been at this thing here for a very long time. I'm not too sure if you have ever, since your involvement with Grand GEDEH Association, if you have ever missed any kinds of Grand GEDEH convention before. I'm not too sure if you have. Yeah, because every little convention that I go to, I see you. So I'm not too sure if you have missed any before. But and please, if you don't want to answer that, we can move on. What do you think the state of the union will be by the time you're ready to get out of the stage? Do you have young people that you're grooming, or young people that express interest and enthusiasm like you did when you were young and being part of the Grand GEDEH community? Do you see that behind you? When you look behind, do you see that?
Yeah, hello, Mr. Toll. You can hear me. I don't want to be like my secretary.
Yeah,
Can
yeah,
you
we can
hear
hear
me?
you. Yeah.
I'm still young, Mr. Toll. What are you talking
Oh.
about? I look like an old man to you. You know? So, I mean, let's get that out of
Mr. President,
the
you
way.
have Kunabo
So,
District for years. You
yes.
left. They call you back. You were there again for years. You left.
Okay.
You came to Grand GEDEH for years. You stay here. Now you're president for almost what, 10 years now? Go
10
ahead. Go ahead.
years. No, yeah, it hasn't. Do not be hyperbolic, Mr. Toll. It's not,
Okay.
you are exaggerating. I came in with a platform. Thank God, God puts it in my head to contact my own little sister, yes, Yeranwe and Mr. WOWOH. They are on board. When we leave in the Grand Youth Association thing, it will be on a scale of 1 to 10. It will be a 10. We're going to set the bar very high. So I'm hoping and praying that there are people out there who are looking at us to be like the mentor, so to speak. Don't come at me with unwarranted gratuitous criticism. Come at me with cooperation. Oh, Jane YOUBOTY was there. He did this, he did that. For me to be able to emulate him, I will try to be a part of him. You know? Don't think that, oh, okay, well, Stefania Forte is from Grand GEDEH. She been in America almost for as long as I've been here. When was the last time Grand Youth Association contacted her? You know? Like I said, when my first time seeing her, I got a 4:00 a.m. and Stefania Forte just popped in my head. For what reason, I don't know. Then when I called her, she said, oh, what a coincidence. We've been talking about this. So I think God has something to do with this. God really does. But like they say, man proposes, God disposes. But in this case, man proposes, God proposes with us as well, because each and everything we see here tonight will become a reality. I always see Eric WOWOH on YouTube standing in front of his projects. Not a day we are ever seen wearing clothes to entire. You always dress casually. But he getting it done. It's not about how many clothes you wear. But you see, you know what Eric will remind me of? He remind me of Marco Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook. That man don't wear no clothes, but he founded Facebook. We all out there on Facebook every day. We are on Facebook right now. Marco Zuckerberg wear his t-shirts and jeans and he getting it done. So is Eric WOWOH. So WOWOH, we are happy that you are like an adopted son of Grand GGAA County. Or what made me to think that this whole thing will materialize is you told me when I saw you in Wilmington, Mr. WOWOH, he said, "Oh, I'm very impressed that you're building that statue for President Doe. That's a very good idea." So I say in my heart, I say, "Oh, this man here, he seems to like President Doe." So I say, "Oh, so what you like about that?" He said, "Oh no, I mean that's a good thing you guys are doing. I mean, Doe made history. We gotta, I like the fact that he was into education. This is the man who came from nowhere when he was president. He went to school and got a master's degree. I'm very impressed. We got to maintain and preserve that legacy. Eric WOWOH is right here if I'm lying. That's what he told me. I'm paraphrasing. So God brings this and we got to make sure that we bring it to reality. So my fellow Grangidians, we beg Mr. Toe, Mr. Soul to be on a show for 1 hour, 30 minutes. We've been here already 1 hour, 33 minutes. I don't know whether you'll be gracious to probably give another 15, 30 minutes. I don't know. But our understanding has expired. So, Mr. Toe, please, if you can extend the time for another 15 to 30, if you can be here for just 2 hours, that would be good, sir. Or you want to terminate the show, it's up to you. Because we're here now for 1 hour, 33 minutes. The reason I'm saying that, if you're ready to terminate the show, so we'll all give our closing statement. Because I want to give a closing statement. I don't want to be left in the air.
Mr. President, even though you're the guest on the broad platform here, but as I stated to you, this is your show. It's just that the reason why I'm asking all of these questions is the interest that these two young people are bringing on the platform here tonight. And it will be somehow remains if I don't ask these questions, because people will say, "But so you got these people, you don't ask questions." But anyway, let me go on back to the secretary. We'll be I'm saying we'll come to you. Let me go on to the secretary. Mr. Secretary, can you hear me now?
Oh my God. What's going on with his phone?
Okay. All right, just sit down and enjoy the show. So quiet. What do you want to add on?
What really got my attention when I met the president in Wilmington about 2 weeks ago was that I'm one of the big supporters of Samuel Doe because when you look at out of all of the presidents of Liberia, I believe he did far more than what was expected of him. Number one reason was that he was the only leader out of all Liberian leaders that never went to school outside of Liberia. Okay, not even Sierra Leone. And when he came to power, he was on the job while still pursuing his education as a president. So he was working at the same time going to school. And then at the end of the day, as far as I know, the Babangida School of International Studies, the PhD program, the master's degree program, that was his project, one of his piece of projects. Okay, and then Motorata High Schools, most of the Motorata High School in the various counties in Liberia, Samuel Doe initiated all of that. So when you're talking about legacy, you look at where he came from and what he was able to accomplish with his life. He was a very intelligent man, and he invested a lot. Even with the current system of government we have in Liberia, without for Samuel Doe, you not have that in place because back then football players were considered street people, ground people. but he saw the future in it and he developed it. So today, even president, we are being president, it has a lot to do with Samuel Doe's legacy. So when I
Yeah.
heard about the statue, what got my attention, coming from Lofa, just looking at things from the outside, I was very inspired, and I asked Dr. Fortier, I said, tell me more. So she told me, she said, well, the chairman is coming to Wilmington. If you can come, I live in Dallas, by the way. I live in Dallas, Texas. But that weekend, to tell you how serious it was, I flew from here, from Dallas to Wilmington, just to meet with the president.
Look
And when
at
we
that.
met, I don't live in Wilmington. I live in Dallas. I went in that area that weekend to meet with you, to put a face to the name, get to hear from you, because I thought, we Liberians, we joke a lot. We joke a lot. So I was thinking this was a joke, if you are not serious. But let me go check it out. It won't cost me anything. But then when I spoke to him, I'm like, I'm in. I don't think Samuel Doe deserved just a statue. I think he deserved an institution, a leadership center that the younger people can remember what he did, something that cannot be erased, something that we can pass on. So the statue is important, the basketball court is important, the library is important, but having an institution built in his honor with probably his name on it would be one of the greatest legacy. So not to put the cat out of the bags, again.
The cat keeps coming out little by little, bringing the head out, then it goes back in the bag. Then it brings
So I believe that was what got me. And the one reason why I come to Kansas City is because of the legacy of Samuel Doe. I want to be a part of that. I think it's always an opportunity when you are called to serve something like that, to be a part of this kind of huge journey. It's always a privilege for all of us.
Thank you. Okay, folks, let me do this. Those of you that want to participate in this, give us a call. Mr. Secretary, can you hear me yet? Of course you can. But okay, all right. Okay, so we'll do this here. And folks, if you want to participate in the conversation here, we got about 5-10 more minutes. So give us a call here if you want to participate. The intent here tonight is to promote the upcoming convention. Mr. President, part of the convention, I believe, have to do with the statue. Besides the video that I just showed you, what other information you think your sisters, brothers and sisters would like to hear that they have not heard from you yet up to this point?
Well, the other information is that people are saying we should include names of people, especially famous people who were victimized by the Civil War. So all of that require money. So we are saying at the Kansas City Convention, we will have a fundraiser specifically for that. You saw that video. The base of the statue is vast. The space to have money if we have the money to pay the engravers. Liberia has come a long way. Can you imagine the engraving of those quote-unquote tombstones were done right there in Liberia? So we have the expertise there. We just need the logistic to compensate the people. So my fellow Granadians listening to me, you see Mr. WOWOH here, he is not a Granadian, but he is inspired by what we are doing. So he is coming. When you heard and you saw the videos on Facebook, and you heard Dr. Forte says you're going to meet with me in Wilmington, Delaware, the man bought a plane ticket from Dallas and flew to Wilmington. And I saw him physically. A non-Granadian doing that, making that sacrifice, spending his own money. Then he come here again to Kansas City for the sake of Grand GEDEH. Then a lot of you just sitting down on the fence. Oh, I'm not going. Oh, watching what he's doing. It's shameful. So please, the Liberian people say we got name. Like Liberian people always say, you got name, man. This is the time for all to apply our name. Come and listen to your sister, STEFANIA. How many Granadian women you see got PhD? One right here. She'll be live in Kansas City. So come out there and exhibit your pride. You elected me in Minnesota, victory margin almost 300, because I told you our building statue for President Joe. Then coronavirus came. It didn't stop me. I still went ahead and built the statue. The statue is erected now. The project is not quite complete yet. We need your help so that we'll complete it. Come, let's celebrate. Come and hear what Stefania has to say. Come hear what Eric WOWOH got to say. They come with some other people. They come with some, I don't want to be racist here, but they come with some white people. Come and hear what the white people got to tell us. When they come and the hall is empty, they will be weak. They will say, what are you talking about? There's nobody in here. Man, we believe in Stephanie. You lied to us. So please don't let our daughter, don't put her to shame. Come, be there in droves. Make us proud. If the ticket is too expensive, drive. Drive and come. I'm driving. You know why I'm driving going? Because I don't want anybody to say, oh, the president flew. I cannot afford a plane ticket. So I want to be like you. I'm driving going. It's 16-hour drive from Yellow, Kansas City. Yeah, I will be driving. I can afford to buy the plane ticket, though. But I don't want to drive because I want you to drive. I don't want you to say, oh, the president flew. I cannot afford to buy the plane ticket, so I'm not going. So I'm driving. In fact, when I'm driving, going that day, I'll be live on Facebook, so you'll see that I'm actually driving the car. The evidence will be there. So basically, Mr. Toa, I hope that was the intent of your question.
Okay. All right. Well, folks, again, Samson to Madam Poor, Derek Poor, the number is out there. Give us a call. Mr. G. Samson, if you care, give us a call. The number is right there. If you want to have if you have a question you want to put out to your brothers and sisters, please give us a call here. But we're going to be here for about another 2-3 minutes. So let's go down the line now and try to wrap this up here. Madam Guest Speaker, let's start with you. But before we do that, I will like to extend an invitation to you and Mr. Eric WOWOH to be my guest, and I will try to get your number from Mr. YOUBOTY so that we can talk about the time. Because I don't know you guys' schedule, and I don't want to call the time right now until we have some sort of a discussion and understanding, and see if you guys can consult your schedule and see if that will match the time that I have in mind. But besides that, go ahead and give us your closing here. And first thing, I want to thank you very much for even showcasing the Blown Town women. Minor, about yours are Blomley to showcase. That's the vice president for Boston District Association. Okay. Yeah, to showcase, I just want to say thank you very much, Mr. WOWOH. Of course, you're not from Grand Gita, we know that, but I think your love for Liberia is taking you places, and we really, really do appreciate that. And I hope that the convention will be impressive enough that perhaps you will continue to connect with the president, and then this president who also, my goodness, if I sit here tonight and start telling you what he has done in terms of trying to educate people in Grand Gita County, you will not believe it, because he's one of those who are responsible for paying teachers from here in the United States to pay teachers to teach back. He was also responsible or instrumental, let's put it this way, in providing photocopier machine back in the days for people, kids, to be able to have, if they're not able to have a produced book, they can make a copies. And so in terms of educating people, this has always been his passion. Like I said, I don't agree with him on many policy issues, but I know who he is. And things that I know that he has done, I will not hesitate to point those out. So, Madam Guest Speaker, let's start with you. Go ahead and give us your closing, and then we'll go down the line here, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toll, and to all of the followers, the listeners, to Mr. President, to Mr. Eric WOWOH, and to also our vice president, who has some technical difficulties. Has some technical difficulties. So thank you so much for just giving us this platform to have the visibility necessary for us to showcase the work that we've been doing for a long time. We've been doing this work for a long time, over 10 years. I've been doing this work. Eric has been doing this work over 20 years. And for me, this is special just being on this show and being the guest speaker of the National Grand Jury Association in the Americas, to be the guest speaker, then to be a part of the uncovering of this monument of President Samuel Kayando, who indirectly and directly also impacted my life through my family and the choices that he made. And then also extending the legacy into a collective impact sustainable development project. It's special to me because you can do work all over the world, you can do work all over Liberia, but once you touch home, it touches a special place in your heart. Because my mother used to always tell me, and she tells me now, she says, what you put in your mind, here in your head and your heart, nobody can ever take it from you. People can take your things, people can leave, they can come, they can go, but those things remain yours. So my grandmother, who did not even know how to read and write, instilled the value of education into my mother. My mother now was able to have access to resources even through this specific legacy of Samia Kayando. And I'm here today. So this is the manifestation of what happens when we put our efforts and our investment and our resources to educate our children. So my role and my responsibility is not to only think about myself, and only think about my immediate surroundings. That my role is to make sure that I can use my credentials, I can use my skills, I can use my resources to tangibly impact the life of the young people in our county through the under the administration of President YOUBOTY here, and also with the partnership of Change Agent Network, the partnership of the Grand Jury Association, that we're going to make sure we have other doctors, we have other lawyers, we have other people who are critical thinkers, who are transformational leaders in our county. So thank you so much for the visibility. And I really, really look forward for this follow-up interview or exchange where we can share a lot of the details regarding our model, our sustainability, and how we were able to accomplish this throughout the years.
Thank you. Mr. President, are you with us? No. Are you there? Okay. All right. Go ahead, Eric, before I go back to the president.
Yeah, Mr. Toad, thank you so much for the opportunity. And also, like the doc said, the opportunity to do a follow-up interview with you later where we'll be able to give you more details on how, when, why we are doing the things that we do and what is our vision for the country going forward. So we look forward to it, and we also look forward to seeing you in Kansas City, Missouri, to put a face to the name and get to feel you, interact, and put Grand Jury forward, move it forward. So thank you.
Thank you. Let me see if the president's still here. Mr. President?
Yes, no. I'm here. I'm here. My phone was on mute.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Well, your picture is not obvious. Okay, here you are. Go ahead and take it home for us so we can close this program, if you don't mind, sir.
Once again, thank you very much, Mr. To Atro, me Atro, as you, Loku, Kulude. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for giving us the audience to come and enlighten people. You'll be surprised to know that there are people here tonight hearing about Grand Jury Association Convention for the very first time tonight. There are people here tonight for the very first time hearing that we're even building statue. So there's nothing there to be taken for granted. So my fellow Liberians and Grenadians and American, everybody who is within our reach virtually, King YOUBOTY here speaking, we came to invite you to Grand GEDEH Association Convention in Kansas City, Missouri. Highlights of the convention will be a very special message from Dr. Stefania Forte here. The beautiful lady, you see the lady in red. Lady in reds are always beautiful. And also, Mr. Eric WOWOH will be accompanying her, and some other people from Change Agent Network will all be in Kansas City. Change YOUBOTY here is, I got some kind of fine privilege. I can just go on the plane and go. But because I want you to go, I'll be setting an example. I will be driving tediously for 16 hours just because I want you to go there. I don't want you to give an excuse. I couldn't afford the plane ticket. Me, I can afford the ticket, but I'll be driving because I want you to be like me. I want you to drive and go. So once we are in Kansas City, on Friday we'll have the welcome night. Saturday in the morning we'll have the business section. I will offload my load in other words, what I've been doing for the past 3 years. Of course, I'm going to tell you we'll be able to start you basketball court and all that other stuff. And in the evening, Dr. Forte will give her message. We don't know what is in the message. Like she said, the cat will come out, but she pushed the cat head back in the bag. So we don't exactly know what is in there. We will have a queen contest. We will have a raffle draw. And speaking here, I killed a cow, my administration, that is, outside the convention budget. We killed a cow for survival. You know, Corona came, a lot of people died, but God help us, we didn't die. So the thing of the convention is expressing gratitude to God for survival and unity. That will be the convention thing. Or the DJ at the convention will be, you call himself DJ Chris the best. Talking about one of the best Liberian, not just granular DJ, but one of the best Liberian DJ in the US is called Christopher Quia. He lives in Des Moines, Iowa. He will be the DJ. So anytime DJ Chris is playing, a lot of young people come because they know he's one of the best. The MC of the occasion will be Mr. Gabriel Myers. He used to live all in Philadelphia, but he moved to Atlanta, Georgia. But he will be there. He will be the MC. We will have a queen contest. Also, the present queen is Miss Caroline Simpson. She just got married. I think so will be Simpson Bly. She married to some guy called Bly. So she will be trying to succeed herself. But we have competitors. So the Liberian men say it will not be easy. Oh, you come and be a part of it. Don't stay home and hear the news. Thank you very much, Mr. Toh. Thank you for giving us the audience. Thank you, Stefania, for coming. Thank you, Mr. WOWOH. Thank you so much for expressing interest in your fellow Liberians. How patriotic is that? Thank you for exhibiting extreme patriotism, sir. The fact that Stefania told me you were coming and you actually bought your ticket to come Wilmington just to see me. I know you were disappointed when you saw me say, "Oh, that."
Oh no, no.
So I'm happy that you were there, Stefania. Thank you for bringing him. In now over here, we got 1 or 2 more shows to go before the convention. So you'll get ready. I'll be calling you again to tell you where we go next.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Toh. Thank you. Let me keep my mouth closed before I start saying the wrong thing. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much for the evening. Thank you. Have a nice night. Okay.
Thank you. All right, so thank you. And now, Mr. Secretary, I'm sorry that we were not able to connect. Hopefully, we'll do that again on another time. But thank you very much, folks. I will thank you and say welcome. And please don't hesitate, the good doc and Mr. Fortier. I will be calling Mr. Woy. I'll be calling on you guys here very shortly, and hopefully we can schedule something here soon. But thank you, and I'll say good night to all of you.
We look forward to it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, folks, Samson told Liberal Public, let me try this. Okay. The music issue is not working tonight. I'm not too sure what the reason. But anyway, folks, I want to thank all of you again for tuning in. This is a night for the Grand Day Association, who very shortly here they will be having a convention in Kansas City, and we just try to do what we can, do our part to make sure that the convention is giving some sort of a promotion, so to speak, and. So this is what we do here in Labrador Public Radio from time to time. But one of the interesting things I thought coming here tonight, I thought we were going to have just me being quiet, which is very difficult to do, by the way. I thought I was just going to be quiet here and have the president and his team just talk about the convention. But what is the interesting thing that happened was the two young people that he brought with him tonight, and their story and their involvement is such an interesting dynamic that I just couldn't let it go. And as a result, I was unable to be quiet because I started a serious conversation with them. I started asking some serious questions. So they intended I will try my best to contact them and see if we can schedule something with them here very shortly. Because if this Eric WOWOH has been building schools and even a university, we saw what's his name, um, um, uh, Tom Fowler built a university, and then we never heard the end of it. And yes, this young man built schools. He's been doing it according to what they said more than 10, 15 years. And this is my first time of hearing about him. So there are some people that are seriously invested contributing to changing the lives of our brothers and sisters back home. But they don't go around blowing their horns and tooting their horns. I build this, I build that. They don't do that. Very quiet, very quiet. And but I'm going to do my best to make sure that we talk about it, because what they're doing is very interesting. And the good doctor, who happens to be my own cousin, by the way, a PhD from Blomtown, next door. That's where my mom come from, Blomtown. Yeah, Blomtown. I said PhD from Blomtown. I said, you got problem with that? I said the person got PhD from Blomtown. You telling me that poor, hear about the poor family, that poor granddaughter. Yeah, she's smart. But anyway, I will do my best to invite them. We're gonna have a conversation. But the interesting thing, as I stated earlier, is the fact that these people, I mean, these two young people, they are now putting themselves ahead of anything else. They're putting Liberians, and they're very anxious to impact the lives of Liberian, many Liberians. They're very anxious to transform the lives of many Liberians, and that's very interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah, the good doctor is with these people. You heard Eric WOWOH said, we erect the infrastructure. We erect the school, but the lady who is a PhD and also a teacher comes in with a program to fit the school itself. I thought that was very interesting, the way they put that. I thought that was very interesting. They put up the building, so good, the building is done. Now, what are some of the things we need to have the building to function? The functionalities of this building it seemed to be, I could be wrong, but it seemed to me that the functionalities of this building is very, very much important to these two people. So they work around. So what I would, folks, that's what I do, and I do it best. I'm speculating. So it seemed to me that where Eric and his people are there, physically putting up the building, drawing the structure and putting up the structure, concrete, brick, wall, whatever it is. The good doctor, on the other hand, goes out and see the building. It's okay, this building look like this. Okay, this is the program that I can tailor towards this building to make the building function. That's very, very interesting. And I intend to probe that more. What really enticed these young people, as young as, because when I was their age, you can't catch me doing the kind of thing. I can't waste my time to come talk about Liberian children business. I'm go play football and do your thing. I can't waste my time talk about say I want help to teach you. I beg you, I beg you. Yeah, I see you, sir. I see you, sir. A young lady, time for me to go play football and drink beer and then go and do your thing. I can't waste my time. But they are not like that. And if I continue to insist, this is my first time. I've never met this lady before, even despite that she's my cousin. I know of her. I've heard of her. The last time I heard, she was just a little young lady. Well, not a young lady, a little girl at the time. Okay. I know of her older brother, the older brother passed. I know that because I was there, to console the mom. I was there. My mom, my dad, and I went to the funeral. So I know all of this. I know who she is. But the last time I saw her, she was just little. But yes, here now, PhD. But the thing that I'm saying here, I keep saying to many times I have my show, I see the future of Liberia is still ahead of us. If you think whatever Samson told and the rest of the Samuel twice this, McGee this, and you think that's the end, please. There are so many young Liberians in the diaspora, even back home, that have good hair on their shoulder. And they are struggling, and they are trying, and they are doing their best to make sure Liberia is on the map. The good leader, leadership will come along someday and allow these children, or not children, these men and women, intellectual, to flourish. None of these people we have now kicked back here, stealing money here and there for themselves. Most of these young people we have in the government position, all for themselves. They got nothing else to offer. And do you think Eric Wowoh, do you think he's older than that guy who was using champagne to wash his car that he bought for his girlfriend or his wife, using champagne? You think him and Eric Wowoh, are they not about the same age? And here's Eric Wowoh here telling us for the last 10 years or so, building, he's not doing it just for himself to get the pleasure out of it. Why there's young men that work for President Weah washing, using champagne to wash a brand new car that he bought for his wife because it's his wife's birthday. On the other hand, this young man you just heard tonight, Eric Wowoh, is there building schools for other unfortunate Liberians to benefit from his effort. And you want to tell me that we have some sort of a comparison here? We got nothing. There's no comparison. Don't get me started. The show is over. But I'm just saying, this is just something I just can't let it go. I just can't let it go. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. You have people, you got young people in Liberia right now that are in position of power, and all they think about is themselves. And you saw these two young lady and this young man collaborating. They don't even live together. They don't even live in the same state. Eric told us he lives in Houston, Texas. I don't know what he's doing in that conservative state. That's one thing I'm gonna. I gotta be careful when he lives in a conservative state. I hope he's not conservative like Ebon George and Alfonso So. I hope he has a liberal tendency in him. But my sister, she's somewhere in the Philadelphia, Delaware area. That's Joe Biden area, by the way. I think she's a liberal. Well, I don't know. I'll prove that. You know me. I don't hide myself. I spoke for them. What brand are you? Are you conservative? And Eric Wowoh say he's conservative. I'm still going to praise him, but I will praise him from a perspective of a conservative, of a liberal. Then I will praise him as conservative, but I'm not going to go more than that. But folks, no, on a very serious note, you saw these two young people here tonight explaining themselves. They got stuff for Grand GEDEH Association convention, and I hope my brothers and sisters of the GEDEH community that will attend, I hope that people like former President Thomas Collins, who also have huge interest in seeing the development of young Liberian, young Nigerian. I will hope that he will be able to grace this occasion. I'm going to call him. I'm going to call him and try to ask him to do a replay on this show here and listen to these two people. Because Thomas Collins, one of those, I saw him at work, former Grand GEDEH Association president, very much, of course, intellectual, of course, there's no question, but he has interest in helping young Grand GEDEH to succeed in terms of education. So I hope my brothers and sisters that will go to the convention, you might not make noise when this young lady is speaking. You might not make noise when Mr. WOWOH will come out and do his presentation. But I know how y'all can behave. The last time we were in Phoenix, when Abraham Bar and myself were doing the presentation for the women initiative, whatever program they have. I hope that won't happen here. I hope that won't happen here. No, I just know, truthfully, folks. Yeah. Look at this. Look at this. It is true. He has been doing it over years, and I know him very well from Nigeria. This is a person who lives talking from Nigeria. Say, my goodness, I got to bring these people on my show. I got to bring the two young people on my show. No. But you don't hear about them. Tom, what's his name? Tom father built one university. Oh, you think he built in fact, you think he's the founding father of the Republic of Liberia. The university that is benefiting him, charging people and the money going to him. But here, his people here, they were going around acting as though this is a free university. Yes, this young man who is not even close to what's his name? Tomafala in terms of age. He's also from Lofa. What did I tell you guys about the people from Lofa County? I've been telling you ain't believing. You see the other young man again? Very smart. You see the kind of way you are speaking to that? You see him messing his words? You see him messing that book that I'm crying, he can't speak here. That I'm total English, he can't speak here. You got something to chapping all night. These young people are intelligent, smart, very smart. But on a very serious note, I will hope my sisters, the like of Madam Kana, the likes of Madam McKinney, the likes of Madam Chairman Brown, those smart Nigerians lady. I hope that perhaps they will watch this program and try to contact this lady and impact on her, because she's anxious, and I don't want her to get into something that perhaps might want to slow her down, because I'm saying from experience, you got young Nigerians, they jump into the Grand GEDEH Association business with all their hearts, and then I'm not going to go into that. I'll pray that she doesn't face those kinds of stuff. So anyhow, folks, I will bring these two people on. I hope you guys will follow me. I will bring these two people. I'm thinking about even doing it this coming Sunday. I'll contact them tonight, if not tonight, tomorrow for sure. Bring them on, because I really need to go deeper than just the information we're getting here tonight. And that's what I asked Mr. Gene YOUBOTY in terms of him hitting a jackpot. What do I mean by that? Sometimes when we use these words, sometimes people think it's just a slogan. But for me, it's a serious one. Here's what do I mean by that? You bring these young people as intelligent, PhD. How old do you think she is? PhD. Look, she's young. So when they come out and explain themselves after giving a speech, laying out some of the things that they would do, only if they can get serious cooperation from the county authorities and county association. And then you have Mr. Eric Woe will come out and lay out his plan as well. There are other young Granadians, very smart, PhD as well, medical doctors, engineers, lawyers. But they say, why would I even want to waste my time when I go to these conventions? All they do is fight among themselves, want to go at it, physically want to fight each other. Why would I want to associate myself like that? I've already gained my reputation. I'm a lawyer. I do my business depend on my reputation. Why would I want to be among these people that will fight among themselves without even reasoning of not even good reasoning of things or whatever it is? All day politics fighting and what have you. But for Jean Djibouti to be able to find these two young people to come on and say, okay, they explain. Now, these young people that I just told you about that perhaps might even be on the fence. Because what kind of people you'll find that don't want to be associated with their kind? Everybody want to be with their own brothers and sisters. So when these young people come and explain, they say, well, how's young, like, they don't let, no confusion. These young people finish explaining, I go in there. And that's the reason of me asking about that jackpack stuff. But anyhow, thank you, thank you, thank you. Tomorrow night is Friday. We're not going to be on here. Mr. So has traveled. He's now here in the diaspora. He'll be back within 2 weeks' time, we hope. And as usual, hopefully he will be able to give us a program over there from Liberia as well. But he told me tonight, just like a reporter, we're just having conversation. He said, by the way, the road from Sesto River to Totown, they fix it. It's better now. And I believe that, and I trust his word. So I just want to say to the superintendent of Grand GGAA County and to the road authority of Grand GGAA County, I want to thank you guys because it was bad when I was there. So now to hear Mr. So, because Mr. So also, when he was there the last time when I was there, both of us were in Liberia together, and he was able to, he took some video of that place. So now, hopefully, when he's coming back, he will have another video so we'll update what we have done before. Other than that, I will say thank you, folks. Thank you. Please tune in Sunday evening. I will do my best to bring these two young people back here on this platform. This platform is an intellectual platform, and I think you will enjoy them. You will enjoy them. And I think you also will want to have, after listening, I believe many of you will say, okay, if they can do it, we also can do it, because this is about Liberia. I want to thank all of you, and I'll say good night. Have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday afternoon. We'll be back here on Sunday. Thank you, and good night, folks.